Howdy, partners. Trying to figure out. Yeah, I'm feeling the hat. All right. Let's talk about how to lose weight. So, I've heard a couple people say, so we got a nice little chunk of new clients in there, and I've heard a couple people say they're frustrated that they're not losing weight. And so, let us talk about that, because I know that's what a lot of you are here to do. So today, in this talk, I'm specifically talking about people who want to drop body fat and pounds. And I hope primarily body fat, not just weight. This might be a little bit extensive of a talk. It might take a little bit of time to cover all of my musings, ramblings. But I hope if this is an important subject to you, you'll listen to it in its entirety, whether you catch it from the beginning or the middle and have to rewatch it. I hope to tell you an awful lot of things about the way I believe you should go about burning fat and losing weight the right way, the 39-minute workout way. And this is 12 years of observation, of trial and error, of teaching clients, of doing it on myself and my wife, of us doing it at home, of changes in nutrition and fitness knowledge, an awful lot of background. And look, there's clients who hit our program and they're ready to lose it right away. There's clients who aren't ready and don't care. There's clients who aren't ready and then eventually do care. Whatever. I'm not here to tell you when you need to care about weight loss. Some people are perfectly fine coming into the workout and just doing the workout, knowing they're going to get stronger, more energetic. That will translate to some health, feeling better about yourself, a lot of positives. Probably some elimination of pain because the body's going to move better, all that good stuff. But inevitably, a lot of people, and this seems to be a good season for it, want to burn fat. Now, I keep saying burn fat. I don't even love saying lose weight because burn fat, to me, is numero uno, more important. Now, usually, most people, if you burn fat the right way, you will still also lose weight. But the distinction is, the wrong way to lose weight, the way I will never teach anybody to lose weight, the way I don't want you to lose weight if you're going to do our program, because it sort of dishonors the workout piece of it, is cut calories, focus on calories first and foremost, and do a ton of cardio. Or try to turn our program into that and try to do our program 4 or 5 days a week and add cardio and cut calories. You're going to inevitably screw your metabolism up. You're going to burn fat and muscle indiscriminately. No woman over 35, 40 years old should be burning muscle. You should be gaining muscle. No man either, but especially no woman. It is vitally important that you retain as much there's no such thing as lean muscle. It's like a marketing thing. Muscle's muscle. Lean. Muscle's lean. Muscle doesn't have fat. But you don't want to go down that route. And you don't want to go down that route because you know the answer. If you go down that route of some combination of overworking and starving, you're going to lose it faster than my members who do it the right way. Then you're going to gain it back faster than my members who do it the right way. If you want to have not only the results, but also the health that goes with retaining muscle and burning fat, and 1, 3, 5 years from now, you're still able to maintain that fairly easily within a 5 to 10 pound weight range, then do it the right way. And that's what I'm here to talk about today. So here's what the right way looks like. There's different aspects. Number one, the fitness side. Consistency. If you want to burn fat, I would give yourself 60 to 90 days. Most people can focus really, really well for 60 to 90 days. Anything less than that, you're probably not giving your body long enough to lose more than 10 pounds. Anything more than that, you're probably going to fade and lose interest. So the goal would be to give yourself 2 to 3 months, set some reasonable amount of weight you think you can lose. It should not exceed 2 pounds a week, probably 1.5 pounds a week on average. And yeah, that's it. Okay. So give yourself a reasonable, measurable. I'm going to go 90 days. I'm going to go 18 pounds, yada, yada. The next step is Whether you like it or not, measurables have to be part of this. If you don't take measurables, here's the problem. It happens all the time. David, I'm not losing weight. David, I'm not losing weight. David, I'm not losing weight. We retake your measurements, and you lost 12 inches. How in the world did you lose 12 inches and not lose weight? Anybody know the answer? There's only one way you lost inches and not weight. That means you burned fat and you gained muscle. And the cool thing about that is it won't last forever. You're not going to continue to gain muscle. You're not. Your body's going to put on the muscle it was missing because you had a sedentary lifestyle, and it's going to put on the muscle so that you are now an athletic person. You have a more athletic physique. Guess what an athletic physique does? It burns fat better. It burns fat better. That is the important piece. Okay? So that is why you have to, if you're going to set a weight loss goal, you have to do the measurables, even if it causes some head trash. Because guess what? The head trash is part of the thing we have to work on. But when I say measurables, I mean weight and I mean tape measurements by us. Okay? Then inevitably people say, how often should I check it? Measurables are imperative, but if done wrong, they will create big time mental problems. Nobody is allowed to, and I mean as your coach, as your boss during this whole process, you are not allowed to weigh yourself daily. Flat out. Unacceptable. Do not do it. Do not tell me you do it. Do not tell me you have to do it. You don't. That's old school, self-loathing bullshit. And it is not good for you. And if you don't have a healthy relationship with weight loss, don't tell me it works for you, because it doesn't. Daily weigh-ins are a great way, sorry to get graphic, to know how much you ate, peed, and pooped. And if it's really important for you to know those things, then go ahead and weigh yourself daily. You will drive yourself flipping crazy. If you're a woman with a menstrual cycle still, you're premenopausal, you are going to drive yourself nuts. Because guess what happens at different times of the month? You gain and lose water weight. And if you're measuring yourself too frequently, you're going to ride this mental mindfuck of, I'm up, I'm down, I'm up, I'm down, oh my God, it's failing, it's seeing, you gotta stop it. You don't raise $60,000 to put your kid through college in a week. You don't drop 50 pounds in a week or a day. Weigh yourself once a week at the most. But you gotta weigh yourself. You gotta weigh yourself. You have to know what's happening. You have to have the feedback. Here's why you need, I forgot to go to the tape measurement. Tape measurement, I would do it, let one of us do it, Drew, Abby, or me. Whoever does it first, we're the same person that does it every time because we're all a little bit different. Do tape measurements once a month. You have to ask, it is on you to ask us to do them and check them again. Weight on the scale once a week, tape measurement once a month. Shoot, I had a point before I got to that. Maybe I'll come back to it. Maybe I'll remember it. But that's the measurable side of it. I know what I was going to say. You have to have the measurables, because here's the problem. If I know I weigh 193 today, that's about what I weigh. And here's my measurements. And I don't weigh myself. And 3 weeks from now, I'm 190, 3. I just missed out on the fact that I went 3 weeks without losing a pound. And guess what? When you start an 8 or 12 week weight loss phase, you better be losing weight in the first few weeks or you're doing it wrong. You need that feedback to make sure you're losing. Now, here's the thing. It might look like this. Week 1, 4 pounds. Very often you'll have a big one week 1. Week 2, 1 pound. Week 3, 2.5. Week 4, 0. Week 5, 0. Oh shit, it's not working. No, calm down. The body does this. Week 6, 2, right? You're not allowed to get discouraged, okay? By the way, communicating with your trainers during this process is really, really important. So if you want one of us to check on you, we'll do it. If you want to tell me, hey David, on Wednesday mornings when I see you, I'm going to tell you how much I'm up or down, okay? I would love to do that for more people. I wish more people would take us up on that. I would love you to hop on Abby's nutrition meetings once a week. Not nearly. We have about 125 members. We have about 2 people show up for those meetings once a week. Holy crap, people, they're free. You're investing in them. You don't pay an extra dime to be on those meetings. It's a wealth of knowledge. Be on that meeting. Anyway, measurables. Fitness. Here's what it looks like. If you plan to lose weight over the next 8 to 12 weeks, I'm going to keep saying that, 8 to 12 weeks, okay? We got to increase movement. Do I mean 5 kettlebell workouts a week? Hails to the no. Absolutely not. Too much. You will backfire and screw up your endocrine system. It's essentially like not sleeping. That'll backfire. No, I want you to do kettlebell workouts 3 times a week. 2 if that's what you pay for. Whatever it is. 2 to 3 times a week. Some of you maybe 4, but if you do 4, at least one of those days needs to be a light kettlebell, more cardio workout day. You can't come in and do 4 days a week of this program with your heavy bells 4 days a week. You will crash and burn. Okay, so let's say you've got kettlebells 3 times a week. I want some sort of other movement on off days. David, you're asking me to do more. I am asking you to do more. You're asking for bigger results. If you want bigger results, you're going to be willing to find time to do more. More could be, I did, 5 sets of 10 kettlebell swings, 5 sets of 5 push-ups, and then I went on a brisk walk for 30 minutes. More could be, you got on your Peloton for 30 minutes, 3 days a week. More could be, we bought an elliptical for the house. Guess how cheap it is to buy an elliptical for the house? Get on Facebook Marketplace, find a used one. We spent like $200. It's in damn good shape. A lot of our family members use it a lot of the week. It is to add that movement. Now, me personally, I like to get out and walk. There's a little chunk of time we just went through where getting outside and walking is hard. We're about to come into really good seasons for getting out walking. I think kettlebells and walking is the best fat loss combo there is, personally. I think if you walk 3 or, on your off days, kettlebells 3 times a week, walk on your off days for 30 to 60 minutes, and I mean hoofing it. I don't mean your dog who pees every mailbox walk. I mean, I just actually did it. I went to Western Regional Park with my son. He shot hoops, and I took, so I'm not giving you the finger, I'm shoving my glass, sorry, it was like, no. And I went on a walk 2 times around Western Regional as fast as I could with podcast in my ears, going really good. Like, nice brisk walk. I love to do that a couple times a week with my workouts, okay? So 3 workouts a week, walks. I think if you are really actively seeking to burn fat, that's the combo. I don't think you need any super high intensity cardio at all. You don't need to run. You don't need to do something you don't want to do. Let's put it that way. You don't need to make this a grind. You don't need to make this awful, but movement 7 days a week, 6 days a week. Absolutely. 3 kettlebells, walks, light cardio, something fun, 30 to 60 minutes on the off days. Now we get to the food. This is the big piece. We've talked measurements. And if you missed any part of this and you want to know this, I would, when this is over, or save this in your brain and pick a time over the next 2 days, I would go back and watch this whole thing from start to finish, because there's going to be things you miss that are really valuable. Nutrition. There's a lot of ways to skin this cat. 12 years into this, I can tell you even more than I did before that there isn't a diet for everybody. But there are absolutely principles you need to follow if you want to go into fat burn mode. I used to say calories weren't what caused fat burn. I now completely believe calories will burn fat. But you have many, many different ways to get into a calorie deficit. I, for one, don't believe the calorie deficit needs to be very low. Abby and I, a couple of years ago, downloaded this, it's not an app, actually, it's a web little subscription called Macro Stacks, where you track macros, which is protein, fat, and carbs. That's your 3 macros. We did it because I like to try different things. I tried keto for a whole day. Man, did I hate that. I literally felt like I was drunk off my gourd and I was going to pass out. And I thought, I don't know what's on the other end of this, but I'm actually not remotely interested in it. So, hey, some people have keto. I'm not doing that. The question is, where are you willing to cut calories? Now, I do not want you thinking 1,200 calorie diet. Here is what's fascinating that I learned from macro stacks. And to be honest, I only do macros once in a while when I need to, like, when I know David is off the rails, he's eating, he has no control, and you've got to rein it in. I like macro stacks because it tracks everything I eat, and I'll do it for 4, 8, 12 weeks, whatever it takes, and get in a routine. And then when I get tired of following the tracking, I back off of it and do about that, okay? There's a million ways to cut calories. But the fascinating things macro stacks really taught me, I'm eating 2,400 calories a day and burning fat. 2,400 calories. Now, I'm a 193-pound dude. You might be 1,800 calories, but the point is, none of you should be eating 1,200 calories a day or less. Because that is going to get into muscle wasting, which is the beginning of this talk. That's what I said. We're avoiding muscle wasting at all costs. We are working on weight loss by burning fat, not muscle. That is the right way to do this if you want to look good 5, 10, 15 years from now. If you want to look good for about 3 months and then blow it all, go on a deprivation diet and a ton of cardio. It will fail like it always does. But if you want to do it the right way, how do you burn calories? Here's some general rules. Here's some very, very general rules that I think are true to all people. Number one, everybody would do well by focusing on one macro. Does anybody know what macro is the most important to focus on? Looks like there's some people watching right now, so that's great. Anybody know what macro you should absolutely focus on really getting a lot of it during the day? Give people like 10 seconds. It's so hard to interact. Zoom is so good in that way, but it's just protein. Randy nailed it. Protein is the answer. Protein is what most people undereat. Protein is what will... Here's the gig with protein. Number one, it is very hard to burn muscle when you're eating enough protein. So that is good. It is very easy to get filled up on protein and not go hog wild with carbs and fat. That is good. I am not a believer in low fat or low carb anymore. I used to. I think low carb can be fine. I think low fat can be fine. I don't think that you need to do either. But I do think every single one of you should focus on a good amount of protein. Something like a gram per body fat. A gram per pound. Now, if you don't know what it takes to get a gram per pound, it takes work. It takes, that's what macro stacks taught me was, whoa, it is effort to get that much protein in there. And I'm somebody who likes protein. So it really makes you learn how to get protein in without a crap load of calories. You start appreciating things like tuna and all things fish and chicken and turkey meat and things like that. Am I saying never eat a steak? Absolutely. Eat a steak here and there. But high protein stuff with not terribly high fat, great way to start burning more fat. Number two, snacking is something that needs to be done when it's appropriate because you actually need that snack. If you know my 4 rules of nutrition, I think one of the most valuable where a lot of people get the best results is understanding the 3+1 rule, which if you don't know it, it means 3 meals, 1 snack a day. I've played with it and I know my sweet spot is absolutely, I do a form of my best when David is on, I do a form of intermittent fasting where I don't eat my first meal till 10 or 12 in the morning. So I'm sipping my tea. You'll always see it with my Yeti. I'm sipping my tea as long as I can, pushing my meal until, so today I had my smoothie at 11 o'clock. My first meal of the day is always a smoothie, which probably has 40 to 50 grams of protein in it. Protein powder, a little peanut butter, collagen, whatever. I can explain that to you later. And then a couple hours later, I have lunch, which is often for me at a weird time, not noon. A couple hours later, I have a snack. A couple hours later, I have dinner. I know my 3+1 is my snack between lunch and dinner. That's the long stretch I struggle with. You have to learn your body. I would start off with 3 good meals, focus on protein, try to get a gram of protein per body weight. I'm having trouble saying body weight. Okay? It'll take some work. You might need to load it into a macro stacks or what are some other apps? There's I'm blanking on this other app that I think might be free where you can do log in macros. Anyway, or just do it the old, pull the thing out, measure it and go, okay, well, this tuna has 32 grams and this smoothie has 48, whatever. Just plug it in. Try to get around a gram of protein a day and then cut those snacks. So start with your 3 meals a day with a good amount of protein, and then the unnecessary snacking. Usually it's mindless snacking between meals or post-dinner snacking. I personally would cut out all post-dinner snacking unless you're following an app that's telling you exactly how much you're eating. Up protein, cut out the unnecessary snacking. You will have a lot of success. To be honest, nutrition can be challenging or it can be very, very easy. I'll bet you anything if you focus on 2 things today. Get that protein to where I said, and then cut that. I'm sorry, I started blank. Oh my God, don't do it. Every talk I do this at least once where I go squirrel brain. Finding Your 500, Abby's tool of Finding Your 500. If you up the protein and do Finding Your 500, which everybody should know, I hope. Abby's little rule, it's on the packet we gave you when you were a beginner. Look at your day, find 500 calories of useless calories, pull them out of your diet. If you drink or eat some junk food, that's your easiest thing. If you don't, it might be a little harder work. But things like soda, candy, chips, right? Your salt, fat, sugar stuff. Salt, fat, and sugar, none of them are bad. As a trio, they're bad. We know they're bad because that's how fast food made America overweight, flat out. America is overweight because of salt, fat, sugar. That trio makes people hungry. Makes people want a lot more calories. People can double and triple the calories they need in a day. It is a vicious cycle. It will always leave you undernourished and starving. So salt, fat, and sugar combo, that's the kind of stuff you're going to look for in your diet and get it out of there. So for you, it might be after dinner, you just grab a handful of blankety blank. Well, that handful might have 500 calories and you weren't actually hungry in it. That's a problem. Maybe you got kids and you eat off their plates. Stop that. You're not a garbage disposal. I feel bad for all the food waste we have in the country. It doesn't mean you're responsible for shoving it down your gullet. It is not going to be an honor to the planet if you end up with 30 extra pounds of body fat because of it. Seriously, like that, you're not honoring the planet or saving a farm or anything like that by eating food that your body doesn't need. You're just adding unnecessary pounds to you, which means joint problems and energy problems and confidence problems and new clothes, all shit. So, Find Your 500 and increase your protein, man. That is so often all it really takes for the average client of ours to get great results. Usually people can lose half to 2/3 of the weight they want to lose like that without ever getting into the really complicated breakdowns. When you take a client like Paula or a couple of years ago, Diane, they lost 60, 70, 80 pounds. They will hit plateaus that are a little harder than yours. But man, when you're starting out and you have minimum 20 plus pounds to lose, it is not hard to lose that first half. It is strength, movement, protein, cut the snacks, measure and track. That's the combo. That's everything I taught to you today. Is any of it complicated? No. None of it's complicated. The complicated part is rewiring, deconditioning your brain from what you think you knew about fat loss, which is it's all about cardio and cutting calories, and reconditioning your brain to go, it's all about building and maintaining muscle and cutting out unnecessary calories of unnourishing foods that I don't need. When you get that combo of things, your body will maintain the muscle it needs to keep that metabolism very high and burn the fat off that you don't want. Will it take longer than a crash diet? Yes. Who will look better 1 year and 3 years and 5 years from now? You. You will look better than your friend who went on that keto diet and dropped 35 pounds in 45 days and then promptly got sick and tired of the diet, didn't have a weight training routine to support the muscle, lost their shit with it because they couldn't stand it anymore, and then gained twice that back. Folks, people don't have success at flash in the pan diets. They don't. I know it's so easy to get jealous of your friend who did this amazing thing and they lost all this pounds. Check on them in 1 year. Check on them in a year. And it's not that I'm hopeful your friend failed. I just know that they usually do. You know they usually do. It is a cycle to break with yourself, okay? So unlearn the way you've learned how to burn fat. Relearn a new way, which is focus on muscle and strength, and then how to cajole the body to just burn fat, okay? Women always get jealous of men because we burn fat faster, and I always remind and tell them this. Why do you think men burn fat faster? It's not because we're assholes. It might be. It's because of muscle. It's flat out because of muscle. Testosterone and muscle, we burn fat more effectively. When I was in class a week or two ago and everybody was all pissed off at how many calories I burned with my belt was on, it's because I have muscle. I have invested in being 190 to 195 pounds. I used to weigh 205. I dropped down to 180 by burning all that unnecessary fat and regained muscle. It's the most healthy I've been in decades. That's the same way I want you to approach it. Maintain the muscle, burn the fat off. It's not old school. It's not calorie counting. It's not muscle wasting. It's not starvation diets. It's not get on the hamster wheel and run. It is sane strength, yada, yada. All right. So I think I've said everything I could possibly want to say in this talk. The thing is, like, start tracking, start measuring, start focusing, give yourself a goal, give yourself a time period. If you missed the very beginning, I said most people 8 or 12 weeks, 2 to 3 months. Less than 2 months isn't long enough to get big enough results. More than 3 months, usually you'll start to get bored. We can talk about what to do when you get bored, because it's not go back to McDonald's. It's drop from like 95% on to like 75% on and still cruise. Right here at 75%, you'll maintain those results. You might gain 2 or 3 pounds back, but you're not going to gain 20 back, and you can live in that area until the next time you get focused again, and then do another 2 to 3 months of focus. Most people can't stay focused for longer than that, and it's unnecessary to make yourself. It will just end up being like, I can't live this way, and then you'll freak out and you'll push away from it. I'm huge on developing a sane balance with food and nutrition. I'm food and fitness, and a lot of what I'm pointing to you today is how you do that. So does anybody have any, I know this never goes anywhere, I'm so thirsty. Does anybody have any questions? Things that I said you need clarification on, or if you have any enlightening, like, man, that's the thing I need to focus on right now. Oh yeah, tight. Took a walk and I need to move. Anybody have anything that they want to, like a aha that they had, or that's what I need to do, or I'm ready to do this, or I need your help doing this, or whatever it is? Scam Likely is calling me. Should I take it? I don't think I will. So in lieu of that, I think that's it. I didn't talk about intensity in the workout. That's probably the only piece I could have talked about. There's been some discussion of, like, what intensity should you be. You should be holding kettlebells as, should protein goal be based on current weight or goal weight? Ask Abby that, but I believe feed it based on current weight, Randy. I believe that's the answer. I think if you get within 10 to 20 grams of protein of your body weight, you're probably pretty good. And again, I'm giving more general guidelines and then bring that question. That's a great question, actually. But I believe, based on, like, when I did macro stacks, for instance, you plugged in your current weight and you never changed it in the system. Even when I dropped from 195-ish to 181, it still stayed at those macro numbers. So when I was in the loss mode, so yes, I believe, based on your current weight. But you can ask Abby that too. Intensity. Don't turn kettlebells into your light cardio workout. So if you have a band, the MyZone band, your goal should not be to live in blues or grays. Your goal should be to spike into yellows and reds. Now, that is what we call anaerobic conditioning. What makes anaerobic conditioning anaerobic? You can't breathe. You can't feed the muscles oxygen. So you're getting into the whole Krebs cycle thing that none of us understand, but we all remember basically the word. You are working at such a high intensity that you couldn't maintain it for more than like 30 to 90 seconds because your body just starts starving for oxygen. So you have to stop, suck wind, catch back up again. Your goal in 39-minute workout is to work on strength. So working as heavy as humanly possible, getting stronger in squats, getting stronger at swings, getting stronger in presses and rows. Right? Over the months and years, it's slow incremental. You'll see huge spike in strength in the first few months, then level off, and then slowly my squat went up, my press went up, little bits and pieces of strength gains. The secondary piece is anaerobic conditioning. Spike the heart rate, spike the heart rate, spike the heart rate. Are some of the workouts built to be at like 60 to 70% intensity for a little longer? Yes, VO2 max is like that, for example. VO2 max, you get up into that range where it's almost just too hard and you just surf around that level. So, yes, some of the workouts are designed that way. More often than not, like Keep It Moving or Tabatas or some of the on-the-minute stuff, a lot of our sets, our finisher today, it's burst, 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 recover, burst, 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 recover, burst, recover, burst, recover. Like, you're spiking to those yellows and reds to the point where if I said, hold a conversation with the person next to you, you couldn't possibly. That's how you know you're in yellow and red. If you don't have a MEP, if you don't have the bands. That's how kettlebells should be done. If you can hold a conversation during the entire kettlebell workout, you're never in anaerobic conditioning. What you don't want to do with kettlebells is turn kettlebells into aerobic conditioning. There are better things at aerobic conditioning than kettlebells. It's called get on a bike, go for a jog, do a very aggressive walk, hike, swim. All of those things are aerobic conditioning. In my world, aerobic conditioning is third after strength and anaerobic. To me, what I believe after watching women in their 50s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s get results over 12 years, more is to be gained by strength and anaerobic conditioning with cardio coming later. Cardio is a beautiful add-on that will help support your changes by getting movement on your off days, but it's not the important piece of what we're doing at 39-minute workouts. So approach the workouts correctly and come in and work on strength and anaerobic conditioning. Now, I will admit some of the workouts are not anaerobic or not focused as much on anaerobic. And that's just because I write a million different workouts, I mean, that's to keep everybody entertained. But more often than not, I'd rather you spike, and need to recover. And if you're not hitting that level of intensity, let's talk about whether it's weights or how fast you're moving or what moves you're picking. Because sometimes it's what moves you're picking. Use jump rope, jumping jack, and toe tap when you're getting your ass handed to you and you need to pull back. But at times, do all-out swings with a 53-pound kettlebell. Do burpees or slams. Do airdyne sprints, but really sprint. Do battling ropes and go for broke. Pick the moves that are going to spike heart rate and then use the easier calisthenics to pull back down, catch your breath, spike again, catch your breath, spike it, right? So learn to approach the workout so you're really, really taking your body to that red line. We have found that gets better results for people in terms of physique change, looking that nice athletic firm build that every woman tells me they want, tighter arms, tighter core, tighter butt, all that stuff, strength, anaerobics, best combo in the world to reshape the body. I think I've said everything I possibly can, and I'm really thirsty because I took an hour walk and I don't have any water. So that is it. Randy, I love your question, and I might tag Abby on this when I'm done and just have her weigh in on that. But I know she's at basketball practice, so she'll be home at 7:30. So we'll see. But I will ask her that and bring it up in the Zoom meeting. But I think I said the right answer that she would agree with. All right, folks. I hope all of you watch this. If you missed a big chunk of it, when it's done, go back and rewatch it from the beginning. Don't miss it. It's all important if that's what you're ready to do. Okay? Thanks, folks. This is David's Tips from the Truck. It's nice to see you all. Peace out.